Here's that New York Times article that came out over a year after we gave you the skinny on what was going on behind the scenes with the persecution of Charlie Sheen and then Mark Cuban by the Bush White House, behind the scenes sending him emails, calling him, the Securities and Exchange Commission saying, we're going to come after you, not even saying about what. We're going to investigate you if you don't not do this movie. You better not release Loose Change Final Cut or we're going to come after you. And then a year after they did that, they indicted him. And he fought them and they had to drop it because he had the email and he swore in court to the phone call, the threatening phone call. That's what the kind of stuff we go through to try to bring you this information. You know, if it's just stupid conspiracy theories, why would the White House talk about an enemies list, go after billionaires like Mark Cuban? Insider trading or political persecution? And it goes through that article, and you can go read it for yourself. So that's the type of bravery that Charlie Sheen has, knowing all this went on behind the scenes, and then it came out in the mainstream news exactly as we had said it had happened, it did. Kind of like when I tell you the FBI's been here, but I'm under a gag order and can't talk about it, then later it comes out in the Associated Press. Why? Now, this is the real world, folks. We're here at the front lines. We're dealing with killers here when we bring you this information. So I'm asking listeners to please go to Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com and get 20 minutes with the president that Charlie Sheen and I spent so much time writing and putting together, and send it to the WhiteHouse.gov, send it to Glenn Beck, send it to all the talk show hosts, send it to everybody, and tell them that we want these answers responded to. Don't just call it conspiracy theories when 6 of the 10 9/11 Commission members are saying that the official story was a lie and a fraud and that they wanted to have criminal prosecution of the Pentagon and the White House for covering up. All those quotes are in the 20 minutes with the president piece that Charlie Sheen wrote. And then there's this story from PrisonPlanet.com. Charlie Sheen requests meeting with Obama over 911 cover-up. Actor demands investigation be reopened after majority of 9/11 Commission members say government lied about official story. This is important, ladies and gentlemen. This is extremely, extremely, extremely important. I don't have to stress enough how important it is. Now, we're going to come back, and I'm going to start the next hour, and I'm going to read on air. It'll be grueling to read 16 pages. 20 minutes with the president. So that is coming up. I did want to thank some of our sponsors today. And one of them is survivalseedbank.com. In a real crisis, having non-hybrid seeds means having the ability to grow an endless supply of nutrient-dense food and feed your loved ones. If we have another Great Depression in this country, which we hope doesn't happen, it'll be essential to be able to feed yourself. Plus, it's just fun to have a garden, and it's healthy to have non-GMO, non-hybrid seeds. And survivalseedbank.com's got the best survival seed bank out there we've seen, and it's a great price. Survivalseedbank.com, 877-327-0365, 877-327-0365, survivalseedbank.com. Also, frontsight.com. Have you heard of the millionaire patriot, Dr. Ignatius Piazza? The founder of the Front Sight Firearms Training Institute is offering a free handgun and 5 days of firearms training to my listeners. And it's got a free email list, a lot of free online stuff at frontsight.com. It's not good enough just to own a bunch of firearms, ladies and gentlemen. You need to actually know how to use the firearms. And this is no drill instructor or macho attitude. It's a family environment. Frontsight.com. Act fast, and they'll give you a free Springfield Armory XD pistol and the caliber of your choice. Frontsight.com. 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 Check out frontsight.com today. And don't forget to support us so we can pay for this whole operation, to support the sponsors, and to go to Infowars.com for the secure online video bookstore shopping cart to get films like Terror Storm, Endgame, and The Obama Deception. Stay with us. Third hour, straight ahead. Well, the headlines out there are that the United States faces an Argentina-style devaluation of the dollar. I hope that's not the case, but for years we've explained the bankers would implode their banking Ponzi scheme, then get tens of trillions more of the people in debt by saying they had to be bailed out, then using that money to loan it back to the governments. That's right. We give them our money, and then we pay them interest to get our own money back. And that's what's happened. $23.7 trillion. That number is almost 2 months old. It's over $2 trillion a month and counting. So that was a month and a half ago. It was 23.7. Close to 28 trillion, I predict, next time the number comes out. And back when it was 13 trillion, I was predicting it'd be 16 trillion, and it came out, it was 18 trillion. When it was 18 trillion and 0.7, I was predicting it'd be 22 trillion, and it was 23.7 trillion. So it's probably, when it comes out, going to be 28 trillion or more. Because every two months or so, the numbers come out, and we're set to get them again in the next few weeks. And then Obama, as things implode, are going to say, see, we got to have an emergency reorganization, Northcom standing by, and don't riot in the streets because the flu's bad, and we got to have you for quarantines. They've got all that in place in case they need it. And they could stage terror attacks. That's why Charlie Sheen's done 20 minutes with the president, as a way for the public to read it. And Charlie's saying, I want this meeting with the president. And here are the facts. But that's only salvo one. There's the interviews coming up with Charlie Sheen, including live interviews, Wednesday, that's tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. The video interview that we tape is Thursday, world exclusive, right here. And he really turns the heat up in that interview. Look at this article. Barack Obama accused of making depression mistakes. London Telegraph. They haven't made mistakes. This is all by design. They're getting ready to blame him like he's Herbert Hoover. And we say that in the Obama deception, that he's being built up to godlike status to be destroyed. People laughed at me when that came out in March, 6 months ago? 6 months ago. Now people aren't laughing. And think of the next messianic leader they're going to bring in, some phony right-winger. And then, boy, the Republicans are going to think they've had a big victory. The Republican grassroots are going to think this person's the savior, and they're going to be even worse. And then even more evil Democrat will come after that. It's the same paradigm, the same program. In particular, the authors and economist Charles Rowley of George Mason University said it is also not impossible the U.S. will experience the kind of economic collapse at first third world status experienced by Argentina under the National Socialist government of Juan Perón. I mean, that's the type of news and information we've got. We told you about this, and don't fearmonger. The banks can print and issue $23.7 trillion. It's no problem. No, that money is now going out into the economy, and it is devaluing it. Ladies and gentlemen, and the globalists are buying real assets with it before it's devalued. And then once it hits the street, so they get us coming and going. They get all our money, loan it back to us at interest, and then when it implodes the currency, they've already bought into real assets and commodities. And that's why, after Lindsey Williams' prediction and Bilderberg Group was the intel we had, they were going to lower it and then jack it back up. It's now happening. He said for at least a year it would be low. Now that year is over. We see gold going up. We see oil going up. We see every major commodity going up. And then I see all over national news, they say, oh, yes, it's not an oxymoron to have a growing economy and to be in a boom. We're going out of the recession, but to have fewer jobs and more people in soup lines and on unemployment. Yes, a jobless recovery. This is the type of crap that is fed to the American people and the people of the world. And so unless we bring the bankers to justice and abolish the Fed, nationalize it, unless we identify who the New World Order are, a banking cabal engaged in a corporate takeover, it's over. So we've got to get real issues on the plate, and that's what this 20 Minutes with the President does, and that's just the opening salvo. So again, I'm asking all of you to get 20 Minutes with the President and email it to your entire local media, newspapers, TV, radio, to hand out copies of it, to call the White House with it, to call Congress, to call congressmen with it, to send it out to everybody. Okay? It is so vitally important, and it's up on prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com. We'll be right back. I'm going to read 20 Minutes with the President on air, and then later, not yet, I'm going to open the phones up.